I have two iPhones that are set. One's for 5:53, the other was 5:54.
It is still dark when Minnesota Representative Pete Stauber attends Mass.
I give the day up to the Lord every single day. That's how I start my day.
A daily ritual for Stauber and fellow Congressman Greg Pence, the brother of Vice President Mike Pence. After church, the men walk to breakfast.
I ought to take advantage of that.
Shortly after 8, Stauber is at his office near the Capitol.
I'm going over the day's legislative agenda. I look at the votes that are coming up.
But his district in Minnesota is never far from his mind. He's live right now on the radio in Duluth, in the heart of his district, talking about the drug crisis.
It's devastating to families.
Stauber does about 5 media interviews each week, including this one with VOA. We ask him what it's like to be in the party out of power.
So I don't know any different. If you can take those common things that we all want, reducing the cost of health care and making sure our prescription drugs are affordable and securing our border, supporting our military and law enforcement, those are all common things and that we can do together, and that's my goal.
The congressman beats many of the staffers to his office. Most of them trickle in around 9. That includes the office's congressional canine, Pippa, who is owned by Stauber's communications director. Stauber is assigned to the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee because of his interests. He's taking flying lessons. Today, the committee is investigating 2 plane crashes that killed hundreds and grounded the Boeing 737 MAX airplane.
We have work to do to restore the public's trust.
The highest-ranking members on this committee, not Stauber, get to question Boeing executives first.
And as freshmen, we're one of the last ones if we want, but generally, like when they get down to us, the questions have been asked.
This hearing will drag on for 5 hours, but Stauber has to dip out to attend a different hearing by the House Committee on Small Business. The job requires a lot of rushing around and wearing different hats. On this day, he's given 1 minute to speak on the House floor about a constituent.
Stan Savar is a World War II Navy veteran.
What's next? We can't even show you. Representatives slip out of the Capitol and walk across the street to call centers to make fundraising calls for their party, because they're not allowed to make those calls inside their offices.
There are other duties veiled in secrecy, like the classified briefing Stauber attends to hear about the U.S. raid that killed terrorist Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi.
Excuse me?
All that, and it's not even 3 o'clock.
How are you?
It's up to the staff scheduler to keep the congressman on time and visitors moving in and out.
I love when we get constituents from Minnesota because we can talk kind of the same language. We know the issues.
He doesn't have much time. In 15 minutes, all representatives must be on the House floor for votes.
The gentleman from Minnesota is recognized.
Stauber has sponsored 10 bills. 2 have passed the House. Both were bipartisan.
My bill creates a task force at the FAA.
But Stauber is frank when we ask what shocks him the most about his first year, the divisiveness.
I know our country didn't get this way overnight, but in my own little, like I say, sphere of influence as a freshman Republican, just a little bit at a time, I think we can move the needle, and I'm putting my best foot forward in doing just that.
The sun has long set. Stauber still has 2 more events, a church dinner and a movie night with his 3 congressional roommates.
When I retire at the end of the night, I know that I put my best foot forward and I've given it my all that day, and I sleep very, very well.
Then the first iPhone will ring again at 5:53 a.m. Carolyn Presutti, VOA News at the U.S. Capitol.